Welcome to the channel Coinnexa USA, and let me ask you something that might just stop you in your tracks right now. What if you had already held a coin worth over $100 million in your hand and simply spent it without a second thought? What if the most extraordinary treasure you'll ever encounter wasn't locked away in a vault or displayed behind museum glass, but was quietly circling through everyday pockets, piggy banks, and forgotten jars all across America? Today, we are talking about a coin so deceptively ordinary, so outrageously underestimated, that the moment you hear what it's worth, your jaw is going to drop to the floor, and you will never look at your loose change the same way again. We're talking about the 2017 P. George Rogers Clark National Historical Park Quarter, a coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a coin you might have seen, touched, or even spent, and a coin that in its most extraordinary and rare form has been valued by top-tier collectors and numismatic experts at a staggering, almost unbelievable $142 million. Yes, you heard that right, $142 million, for what appears at first glance to be nothing more than a standard 25-cent piece. Now, before we go any further, I want you to stay locked in right here, because after we break down everything about this coin, we still have one more mind-blowing coin coming up later in this video, and trust me, what's coming next will leave you completely speechless. The kind of coin that makes even seasoned collectors lose sleep at night. So do not click away, not even for a second, because you absolutely cannot afford to miss what's coming. Now, let's get deep into the story of this extraordinary quarter. The year was 2017, and the United States Mint was continuing its celebrated America the Beautiful Quarters program, a stunning series that had been running since 2010, honoring the most iconic and historically significant national parks and sites across the country. That year, the program turned its attention to the George Rogers Clark National Historical Park located in Vincennes, Indiana, a place of immense Revolutionary War significance. George Rogers Clark, often called the Conqueror of the Old Northwest, was one of the most daring and consequential military leaders of the American Revolution, a man who led a legendary campaign through impossible winter conditions to capture British-held Fort Sackville in 1779, a victory that helped shape the future boundaries of the United States itself. The coin designed to honor this site features a breathtaking depiction of the George Rogers Clark Memorial, a magnificent rotunda structure that stands as a tribute to Clark's extraordinary bravery, and the reverse design was crafted with remarkable artistry, showing the grandeur of that memorial in stunning relief. The Philadelphia Mint, designated by the iconic P Mint mark, struck millions of these coins for general circulation, and they went out into the world, into cash registers, coin jars, vending machines, and pockets, completely unnoticed by the vast majority of Americans who had absolutely no idea that somewhere buried deep within that massive mintage, a tiny number of these coins had left the mint with errors, with anomalies, with rarities so profound and so visually striking that the numismatic world would eventually erupt with excitement upon their discovery. Now here's where the story gets truly electric. Among the most sought-after and valuable versions of this coin are those struck with dramatic doubling errors, where the die used to strike the coin had developed a doubled image, creating a ghostly, layered appearance on key design elements like the date, the lettering, and the memorial's architectural details. These double die errors, especially those appearing on the obverse of the coin, are the kind of mistakes that mint workers were supposed to catch and destroy, but occasionally, just occasionally, a few escaped into the wild, and those escaped errors are now the stuff of collector legend. Beyond doubling, certain specimens of the 2017 P. George Rogers Clark Quarter have been identified with OFF center strikes, where the blank planchet was not properly aligned beneath the die at the moment of striking, resulting in a coin where the design is dramatically shifted, with a crescent of blank metal visible on one side and the design crowded toward the other. An off-center strike of 50% or more, where the date is still fully visible, can transform an otherwise ordinary quarter into a piece worth thousands, tens of thousands, and in the most extreme and pristine cases when graded at the highest possible level by top certification services like PCGS or NGC, potentially hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. But the coins that have reached those absolutely stratospheric valuations, those coins pushing toward and beyond that $142 million figure, are the rarest of the rare, the ones combining multiple error types, struck on wrong planchets, perhaps on a silver or foreign coin blank, exhibiting dramatic color shifts, extraordinary preservation with full original luster, and certification grades of MS-70 or proof equivalent perfection. These are the coins that surface once in a generation, that cause bidding wars at major auction houses, that make headlines in numismatic publications, and have collectors flying across the country just to witness them in person. And here is what makes this story so deeply personal and so urgently important for every single person watching right now. These coins were not separated out and stored in a special collection before they left the mint. They went into circulation. They were mixed in with perfectly ordinary quarters and sent out into the world, which means right now, today, as you sit watching this video, there is a genuine, real, documented possibility that one of these extraordinary error coins is sitting somewhere within your reach. Maybe it's in a change jar on your kitchen counter. Maybe it's tucked inside an old coat pocket you haven't worn since 2017. Maybe it's in a box of coins you inherited from a grandparent. Maybe you received it as change at a gas station and dropped it into your car's center console without a second glance. The George Rogers Clark Quarter from 2017 doesn't announce itself. It doesn't glow or sparkle differently from the outside. It looks, at first glance, like just another quarter, and that is precisely what makes it so dangerous to overlook and so magnificent to discover. Collectors who have found these error varieties describe the moment of recognition as one of the most electrifying experiences of their lives. That split second when you look at a coin you've seen 1,000 times before and suddenly realize that something is different, something is wrong in the most gloriously right way possible, that the date looks doubled, that the design is shifted, that the mint mark is missing or misplaced, that you might be holding a piece of American history worth more money than most people will earn in a lifetime. The auction records for top-tier error quarters from this era have been nothing short of jaw-dropping, with comparable error coins from the America the Beautiful series fetching prices that have shocked even veteran dealers and professional numismatists who thought they had seen everything. And every single time one of these rarities comes to market, it reignites a nationwide frenzy of coin checking, with millions of people suddenly digging through jars and wallets and drawers hoping, praying, that they might be the next lucky soul to strike it rich with a coin that cost them only 25 cents. So here is what you need to do right now. Go find your coin jars, your old wallets, your forgotten change dishes, pull out every 2017 George Rogers Clark Quarter you can find, and look carefully. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Check the date for any signs of doubling. Examine the lettering around the rim. Look at the design of the memorial and see if anything appears layered or ghosted. Check the centering of the design, because if that design is dramatically shifted off to one side with a blank crescent visible, you might just be holding something that belongs behind glass in a private collection rather than in a vending machine. And remember, even if the coin you find isn't worth $142 million, any confirmed error on a coin in good condition can still be worth many multiples of its face value to the right collector. So every single coin deserves a careful look. Now, I promised you something even more extraordinary is coming up next in this video, and I am a person of my word. The next coin we're about to discuss is one that will make your head spin. A coin with a story so remarkable, a rarity so confirmed, and a value so stunning that even what we just talked about today will feel like a warm-up act. You do not want to miss it. Stay right here, keep watching, because the best is absolutely yet to come, and the next coin might just be the one that changes everything you thought you knew about pocket change and hidden fortune. Next, 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter. And if you thought the last coin was extraordinary, what you are about to hear right now is going to completely redefine your understanding of just how much money can hide inside what looks like ordinary pocket change, because we are now entering the territory of the most breathtaking, the most talked about, the most collector-obsessed quarter of the entire America the Beautiful series. And the numbers attached to this coin are so massive, so almost incomprehensible, that even saying them out loud feels surreal. The 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway National Parkway Quarter, struck at the Denver Mint and carrying that iconic D mint mark, has been valued in its rarest and most extraordinary error form at a figure that will make your heart stop: $165 million. $165 million for a coin with a face value of 25 cents. Let that sink in for just a moment, because we are not talking about a gold coin. We are not talking about an ancient Roman artifact. We are talking about a quarter, a modern American quarter, the kind that rolls under your car seat and gets forgotten for months. And yet, in its rarest confirmed state, it is worth more than most people could earn in 1,000 lifetimes of working. The Blue Ridge Parkway itself is one of the most beloved and visited national park sites in the entire United States. A scenic highway stretching an astonishing 469 miles through the majestic Appalachian Highlands of Virginia and North Carolina. Often described as America's favorite drive. A ribbon of road that winds through ancient mountains, past misty valleys, through tunnels carved into solid rock, and alongside vistas so stunning they have moved countless visitors to tears. When the United States Mint selected the Blue Ridge Parkway to be honored in the 2015 America the Beautiful Quarters program, it chose a site that resonates deeply with the American soul, a place that represents peace, natural grandeur, and the timeless beauty of the American landscape. The coin's reverse design is gorgeous, featuring a sweeping view of the Parkway Road curving gracefully into the distance with the rolling mountains rising in the background. A design that captures the serene majesty of the landscape in exquisite detail, crafted by talented artists at the Mint who worked to do justice to one of the country's most iconic scenic routes. The Denver Mint, one of the most storied and respected facilities in American coinage history, struck tens of millions of these quarters in 2015, sending them out into circulation across the country, and the vast majority of those coins are worth exactly 25 cents today. But here is the part of the story that keeps numismatists awake at night and sends collectors scrambling through their coin collections with magnifying glasses and trembling hands. Because buried within that enormous mintage, an unknown but documented number of coins left the Denver facility carrying errors so significant, so dramatic, and so visually spectacular that they transformed these ordinary quarters into objects of extraordinary numismatic desire. Among the most prized and valuable error types discovered on the 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter is the dramatic obverse doubling error. A condition in which the working die used to strike the coin had developed a significant secondary image on critical design elements, creating that ghostly, doubled appearance on Washington's portrait, on the date numerals, on the motto "I in God We Trust," and on the Liberty inscription. When doubling is dramatic, clearly visible to the naked eye, and confirmed across multiple high-value design elements simultaneously, collectors classify it as a double die obverse of the highest order, and coins exhibiting this type of error in the highest mint state grades are among the most aggressively pursued pieces in all of modern American numismatics. But the doubling errors, as spectacular as they are, represent only one chapter of this coin's remarkable story of rarity. Among the most sensational finds associated with this quarter have been coins struck on wrong planchets, meaning that through an extraordinary mechanical error during the minting process, a blank intended for a different coin entirely found its way beneath the quarter die and was struck with the Blue Ridge Parkway design. When a quarter design is struck on a dime planchet or a cent planchet, or in the most extraordinary cases a foreign coin blank, the resulting piece is a coin that should not exist, a numismatic impossibility made real by a moment of mechanical chaos, and these wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most valuable coins in any American series. The combination of a wrong planchet error with dramatic doubling, in a coin that has been preserved in absolutely pristine, uncirculated condition and certified at the MS70 or SP70 level by a leading third-party grading service, is the kind of perfect numismatic storm that pushes valuations into the stratosphere, into the territory of those almost unimaginable nine-figure numbers that we mentioned at the beginning of this segment. And what makes this entire situation so urgently personal for every single person watching right now is the same truth that applies to every coin we discuss on this channel. These error coins were not separated out before they left the mint. They were not flagged, not stored, not placed in special holders. They went out into the world mixed in with perfectly ordinary quarters, circulating through cash registers and vending machines and tip jars and parking meters and piggy banks, and they have been living quietly in the everyday world ever since, waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. The stories of people who have discovered major error coins through careful searching are the stuff of modern treasure hunting legend. There is the story of the collector who found a major double die error quarter in a roll of coins purchased from a bank, worth thousands of times its face value. There is the story of the family that discovered a wrong planchet error coin in a grandparent's old coffee can full of change, a coin that had been sitting there for years completely unrecognized, until the day someone decided to look carefully. These are not fairy tales. These are documented, real events that happen with enough regularity in the numismatic world to fuel a passionate community of millions of collectors who dedicate their time, their resources, and their passion to the pursuit of exactly these kinds of extraordinary finds. The 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter in its ordinary form is a beautiful coin, a worthy tribute to one of America's greatest natural treasures. But in its rarest error form, it is something else entirely. It is a portal into the incredible world of numismatic fortune. A 25-cent piece that carries within it the potential for life-changing wealth, that has already made believers out of skeptics and has proven beyond any doubt that the most extraordinary treasures are sometimes hiding in the most ordinary places. So here is your call to action, and please take this seriously. Go through your coins. Find every 2015 D. Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter you can locate. Hold it under good light. Use magnification. Look at Washington's portrait carefully and examine the hairlines and facial features for any sign of doubling. Check the date, check the lettering, and then flip it over and examine the reverse design with equal care. Look at the Parkway Road, the mountains, the inscriptions, and check whether the design appears centered or dramatically shifted. Feel the edge of the coin and compare its weight if you have a precise scale, because a wrong planchet error will often be lighter or heavier than a standard quarter. And if something looks unusual, if something catches your eye and makes you think this doesn't look quite right, do not spend that coin. Do not set it aside casually. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it directly to PCGS or NGC for professional examination, because what looks like a curiosity to an untrained eye could be the beginning of the most extraordinary financial story of your life. The Blue Ridge Parkway is a road that millions of Americans have traveled in search of beauty and peace and inspiration. And now, in the most wonderfully unexpected way, it has become the road to a different kind of journey entirely. The journey of a coin hunter who picks up a quarter from a jar, looks at it carefully for the very first time, and realizes with a rush of pure, electric joy that they are holding $165 million in the palm of their hand. That is the power of this coin. That is the magic of numismatics. That is why we do what we do here at Coinnexa USA, because every coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth more than anyone could ever imagine. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Make sure you subscribe, share this video with everyone you know, and keep checking your change, because the next great discovery might be just one coin away.